is just going to be for props here. Hey, what's going on? It's the Tai Chi Dude. And you can see some of the books I'm studying here. Got my setup, got a book on generative AI, got a book on Spanish. Mi español es mucho malo. So I'm practicing and just putting in the effort. And then I got some JavaScript. Why am I showing you this? Is because I like to expand my mind, okay? And I think it's important, right? And I wanted to make this video so that we can talk more in a subtle setting, okay? I just want to point out that this isn't connected. The microphone is just for props. I'm still trying to get this to figuring out how it works and trying to get a clean recording, so forgive me here, right? But it looks nice. Anyways, I want to say thank you and one, thank you for everyone who, I want to say thank you to all of our followers. Thank you to all of our subscribers, okay? You know, it's my goal of the channel was to take what's in here and put it out there so that you can learn, so that you can pick up the ideas and concepts that I've been taught, right, that I find work, right, and you can apply them and adapt them to according to how you see fit. The martial arts journey, especially with Kung Fu and Tai Chi, and as a practitioner here in the United States, okay, I'm here in the US, I'm here in California. I've done all the recordings here in Los Angeles. I'm a proud American, right? I love the US, I love being here, okay? I think that's one of the benefits of living here in the United States, because we have access to so many different martial arts, okay? And I'm gonna touch on that a little bit later, but I gravitated towards the Kung Fu and Tai Chi because a lot of it spoke towards what I was looking for. I'm also a licensed acupuncturist in the state of California. I don't talk about that much on this channel, but it's a little bit different in terms of how my training is and what I focus on. I focus a lot on health and wellness and better well-being, rather than just like soul theory or the 8-piece brocade. Or I'm very specific in terms of what I teach, which is the Yang style Tai Chi, and it's the first form I teach is the beginner's form to all the students, because that's the form that was taught and I learned, and it was created from my instructor, one of my instructors, the late Dr. Chow Neng Wong, who was also one of my clinicians and a great individual. So I send many blessings to his family, and you know, so but the form was created so that it can be easier to learn and it provides all the health benefits. And he used to say, you know, here we learn the health. If you want to go and fight or learn the self-defense, you go out there. Okay, so I learned a little bit of both, right? Not a little bit, but I know how to separate the health from the pure self-defense. Okay, so as far as my training, it's broken up into different styles. Okay, my first style was actually wushu. Okay, and this was when I just want to learn martial arts. You know, looking at like Taekwondo and karate and Hapkido, and it was more of the striking arts. You know, even though I was, you know, aware of Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and you know, again, you go to where you're called and then you build from there. Okay, and then later on I was able to study more wrestling and BJJ and integrate that into the style. The wushu was the first part of it, the eagle claw. My instructor, Dr. Israel Mack, was my eagle claw instructor. Yeah, instructor Wong Jen Tian was my wushu instructor, and I studied here at the Wushu Link. It's way back when, here in the city of Walnut. And to make a long story short, it's part of the journey. So my training, and hopefully it calls to you, because sometimes, and I wanted to touch on this, the training that you get, I respect everyone's background, whether it was trainings one-on-one private, whether it was training with a group, whether you went to a school and did the rankings of and satisfied those requirements for you to achieve your belt rankings, right? So that that you're qualified and you can actually execute the moves that you were taught. I respect all of that, and I think part of it is, hey, you lose your train of thought. Part of it is looking at everybody's journey is different. So even the people I speak to a lot of people who are on a journey. Okay, because again, I was in acupuncture school. Okay, I was working. Okay, putting in a good 20 to 24 hours a week, sometimes 28 hours a week, while working clinic and studying for a master's program. So the Kung Fu, the Tai Chi, the martial arts training, right, the Kung Fu, the meditation, the mindfulness, it all helped on the journey. But I had to take different pieces, and I think even with Sifu Bruce's ideology in terms of how he taught students, he wasn't going to teach them forever, right? He taught what they needed, and they took what was useful and they applied it. And so following that idea, and another thing, Sifu Bruce Lee was an inspiration to many of us. Okay, growing up as a child in the 80s and the 90s, 2000s, depending on how long it takes you to grow up, his inspiration and legacy lives on to this day. And I feel like he was speaking to all of us in terms of what we can be. Okay, and it's an honor to learn from his teachings. Okay, and so I just, because even then you get those people who say, people sometimes think you're just kind of living this fantasy here, and that's not true, right? It's an inspiration, okay? And then the inspiration allowed me to go and train in martial arts, to actually get a job and pay for me to learn martial arts, okay? That's my story as well. I couldn't afford martial arts growing up. So when I was able to start working and actually pay and do things, I started learning. And so there's a big part of martial arts, which is self-sufficiency. If you've ever looked around for martial arts, it's not cheap, for a good reason. Okay, you need to be able to take care of things, right? You need to be able to handle and juggle your life and handle responsibility and plan things out for yourself. So I wanted to, again, get into this setting here because, we're always training, I'm always training, and I'm doing the videos that are focused on the health and getting you moving, and if an instructor does it, if you do it, instructor's gonna do it. Okay, that's my motto, okay? And so having a chance to sit down, especially if you've seen any of the previous videos, you know what happened. After growing, I'll tell you, there's a lot of things I'll cover in future videos, but as far as getting back into training, and I've been focused a lot more on the weights and the weight training, and a lot more focused on gym work. So I want to be able to take all that knowledge and put it together, because there's a lot of benefits I've been getting. I'm feeling stronger, losing weight, and looking better on that front. Okay, and then there's other things I need to incorporate more, like the stretching and the forms, right? So that there's more coordination, and so it's been an interesting experience. So that's why I've been in the back burner. I also wanted to make this video because I know times are tough. I said that last year, but hey, tough times don't last, okay? Here's the thing, when you can get into that right mindset, that's why also I notice people sometimes will come up and be like, or students or they notice that my demeanor is much more calmer. And it's not, part of it is personality, the other 98% is training. Okay? Training yourself, learning how to breathe. Everybody has an autonomic nervous system. If you go into anatomy and physiology, we all have the same anatomy physiology. So what works for one person can work for another. Okay, if I focus on my breathing and breathing into the dantian area, which is 1.5 inches below the belly button, and I bring my mind there and I breathe, and then I push the air up through my back, right? Visualizing it, but you can visualize the air going up through the spine. Really, your body's just going through doing this respiration process, and you know what? You feel much more calm. Okay, so I want to get into a lot of different things, but at least let this be a sign of hope. I'm going to be 44 here soon, so I'm still training. I'm trying to figure things out. I will say this, if you don't train, if you don't do something, like, it's easy to feel 10 years older, right? 20 years older, right? Especially at this age, I'm really realizing, and I've been getting ready, but really realizing that, yes, taking care of yourself, taking care of the mind and the body is very important, and it can get you a lot of places, okay? A lot of good places. So thank you, thank you, thank you. More videos are coming soon. If you're here in the LA area and want to come train, come and train. We have classes in San Fernando and Pasadena, and I also do online classes. We do mobile one-on-one, and right, I'm here. So if anything, please feel free to like, subscribe, share. Let us know that you're out there, and have a great week. Have a great day. Have a great week, and blessings to you. Right? Keep training.